If you're over 50 and lying awake at 11 p.m. tired but wired, your body is not broken. Your cortisol is, and 2 minutes of the right movement before bed can fix it. This is educational, not medical advice. By the end of this video, you'll know the exact 2-minute routine, the science behind it, and the one mistake most people make in the first 20 seconds that cancels the whole thing. There's also a part of this that works faster than the breathing, and most evening routines skip it entirely. You know the feeling. You did everything right. You cut caffeine after noon. You got in bed at a reasonable hour. You're exhausted. And then the moment your head hits the pillow, your mind speeds up. Your heart is faster than it should be. Your body feels wired, even though you're empty. And you lie there wondering why, in your 50s and 60s, this got so much harder than it used to be. The deeper thing going on here isn't just insomnia. It's the quiet fear that this is just who you are now. That your body forgot how to rest. That maybe the people who told you sleep gets worse with age, get used to it, were right. The first time I actually felt my heart rate drop during a breathing exercise, physically felt it, I understood why the research on this is so strong. I'm a research guy. I was skeptical. One session did more for my 11 p.m. than 2 months of supplements ever had. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. And you're not broken. The signal that tells your body to stand down is still there. It just got drowned out by decades of sympathetic tone. Here's what the research actually shows. To understand why 2 minutes can change your sleep, you have to understand one loop that most people over 50 are stuck in without knowing it. It's called the cortisol sleep loop, and it explains almost everything about why falling asleep gets harder with age. Cortisol is your body's main stress hormone. In a healthy rhythm, it peaks in the morning to wake you up and drops almost to zero by bedtime. Longitudinal research published in the journal Sleep shows that higher pre-sleep cortisol predicts shorter sleep and lower sleep efficiency. That very night. And here's the part most people miss. A bad night then keeps cortisol elevated the next evening. It feeds itself. After 50, this loop tightens. The system that controls cortisol is called the HPA axis, hypothalamus, pituitary, adrenal gland, 3 organs talking to each other all day. After 50, that conversation gets noisy. The curve flattens. Your morning cortisol peak is lower, and your evening cortisol doesn't fall the way it used to. So you arrive at bedtime with a body that's still technically in daytime mode. The opposite of that activated state is something called the parasympathetic nervous system. Think of it as your body's brake pedal, and the main cable that runs that brake pedal is the vagus nerve, the longest nerve in the body, running from your brainstem down through your chest and abdomen. When your vagus nerve is active, your heart slows down, your blood pressure drops, your digestion starts, and cortisol falls. Everything your body needs to do to transition into sleep is controlled by this one nerve. And here's where it gets interesting. Researchers have known for decades that your heart rate variability, which is a marker of how active your vagus nerve is, peaks at a very specific breathing rate, 6 breaths per minute. That's a 10-second cycle. At that exact rate, your cardiovascular system hits mechanical resonance and your vagus nerve lights up. A 2025 review on breathwork and autonomic function confirmed this across dozens of studies. Now stack that against what happens to your deep sleep with age. Slow wave sleep, the deepest stage where your body actually repairs itself, drops by roughly 50% between your 30s and your 60s. So you've got less deep sleep available, and you've got a nervous system that doesn't want to let you into it. This is why most people over 50 wake up still feeling tired, even after 8 hours in bed. But here's the good news. The same vagus nerve that gets drowned out during the day is still fully functional. A 2024 trial in the Journal of Sleep Research took healthy adults, had them do a 20-minute muscle release protocol before a nap, and measured the result. Deep sleep minutes went up by about 125% compared to the control group. Not a misprint. A 2.25x increase in slow-wave sleep from a single session of the right kind of pre-sleep routine. That's the science, Your body still has the hardware. It just needs the right signal at the right time. So, what's the signal and when do you send it? Quick question. I want to read on the room. Comment 1 if you're tired but wired at bedtime. Comment 2 if you fall asleep fast but wake up at 3 a.m. and can't get back. Comment 3 if it's both. I read every one. I want to see what we're actually dealing with here. And if this is making sense so far, hit the like button. It tells YouTube to put this in front of someone else over 50 who needs it. Now, the protocol. The whole routine is 2 minutes, 3 steps, 40 seconds each. You do it 60 to 90 minutes before bed. We'll come back to why that timing matters. Here's each step and exactly why it works. Step 1 is 40 seconds of 4-7-8 breathing. Inhale through your nose for 4 counts. Hold at the top for 7 counts. Exhale slowly through pursed lips for 8 counts. 2 full cycles fits in about 40 seconds. Here's why the specific ratio matters. Your vagus nerve fires hardest during the exhale. That's a mechanical fact of how the nerve is wired. A longer exhale means a longer vagal signal. The 4-7-8 pattern makes the exhale twice as long as the inhale. And the 7-count hold lets carbon dioxide build up just enough to trigger an additional parasympathetic signal through your chemoreceptors. Clinical reporting from Cleveland Clinic documents measurable drops in heart rate and blood pressure after just 3 to 4 cycles. You're doing 2. That's enough to start. Step 2 is where most people mess this up, or skip it entirely. This is the part I teased earlier. Progressive muscle release. Remember that 2024 trial I mentioned, the one that saw a 125% jump in slow-wave sleep? This is the technique they used. And it turns out you don't need the full 20-minute version. An abbreviated version works. You're going to tense 4 muscle groups, 5 seconds each, then consciously release for 5 seconds. Feet and calves first. Curl your toes, squeeze, then release. Then thighs and glutes, squeeze them hard, release. Then hands and forearms, make tight fists, release. Then shoulders, shrug them to your ears, release. 40 seconds total. The reason this works so fast is a mechanism called post-isometric relaxation. When you tense a muscle hard and then release, it drops below its resting tone for several seconds. You also give your brain a clear contrast signal. Here is tension, here is release, so it can actually find the tension you've been carrying all day without noticing. Most people over 50 are walking around with shoulders locked at ear level and have no idea. This 40 seconds finds it and drops it. Step 3. Legs up the wall. This is the one that sounds too simple to matter. Scoot your hips up to a wall, lie on your back, put your legs up the wall, straight, arms at your sides, palms up. Breathe naturally for 40 seconds. 2 things are happening while you lie there. First, gravity is helping the pooled blood in your legs return to your heart, which triggers your baroreceptors, the pressure sensors in your arteries, to signal your vagus nerve even more. Second, for the first time in the entire day, your nervous system has nothing to respond to. No task, no posture, no decision. A study on low-intensity evening movement in older adults found that these restorative postures done in the evening 1 to 3 hours before bed improved both sleep latency and subjective sleep quality. 40 seconds is enough to start the shift. And here's the timing piece I teased in the hook. Do this routine 60 to 90 minutes before bed, not at bedtime itself. If you do it lying in bed trying to force sleep, your brain links the routine with the frustration of not sleeping, and it backfires. If you do it 3 or 4 hours before bed, the parasympathetic shift fades before you need it. 60 to 90 minutes before bed is the sweet spot. That's the window where your body can ride the vagal activation all the way into sleep onset. So why doesn't this work for everyone on the first try? There are 3 mistakes that cancel almost all of the benefit. Here's what to watch for. Mistake 1 is the one I teased in the hook. Most people, when they hold their breath for the 7 count, they clench. They tighten their chest. That triggers a sympathetic rebound, the opposite of what you want. The hold has to be relaxed. Your lungs are full, but your chest stays soft. If you feel your shoulders rising during the hold, you're doing it wrong. Mistake 2 is doing the routine in bed itself. I see this all the time. Someone reads about a sleep technique, tries it the moment their head hits the pillow, and it doesn't work. The reason is that your bed is supposed to be a sleep cue, not a practice space. Do the routine somewhere else, the couch, the floor, a chair. Then go to bed. Mistake 3 is quitting too early. A single session produces measurable drops in heart rate and cortisol. But the real gains, the ones your body actually notices, come in the 2 to 4 week window of daily practice. Your nervous system has to relearn that this signal means rest. Give it 2 weeks before you judge the result. And one more thing. If you've had chronic insomnia for more than 3 months, this routine is useful, but it's not a replacement for cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia, CBTI, which is the gold standard for chronic cases. Talk to your doctor. This is a tool in the kit, not the whole toolkit. To recap, 2 minutes, 3 steps, 40 seconds each. 4-7-8 breathing, abbreviated muscle release. Legs up the wall, 60 to 90 minutes before bed, not in bed. Give it 2 weeks. If you want the full protocol, this routine plus 6 more nights of evening practices that layer on top of each other, I put all of it into a free 7-day guide called the Adrian Mercer Sleep Protocol. It walks you through it night by night, so by the end of the week you have a complete evening system built specifically for people over 50. Link is in the description. Drop your email and I'll send it over. No charge. It's the single best thing I can give you if this video made sense and you want to actually build the habit. 7 nights, 1 email. Free. If you want to go deeper on the 3 a.m. cortisol spike specifically, the wake up at 3 that so many of you described in the comments on the last video, I have a full video on that one too. Link in the description. Tell me in the comments, which of the 3 steps are you going to try tonight? The breath, the release, or the legs up? I'm curious which one resonates before you've even tried it. Subscribe and hit the bell. New sleep science every week. I'm Adrian Mercer. Sleep well.